Jennie versus her fake dad? But what on earth is this BLACKPINK merch? And is NewJeans going back to ADOR? The Boyz member Haknyeon fights back against his company, and so much more in today's episode of Totally Legit K-pop News with me, Angelina. So if you're interested, please keep on watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this video with friends you don't have. And without further ado, let's get into today's K-pop news. Has anyone ever come online and claimed to be your dad and even wrote a book about your life? Wouldn't you know, BLACKPINK's Jennie can relate to this. I don't know if you remember a while ago, there was this random guy who wrote a book. Now the book synopsis is apparently about how world stars BLACKPINK's Jennie and Psy undergo a simulation at an AI robot camera global center. Which, you know, doesn't sound real. However, this man was literally claiming to be BLACKPINK Jennie's biological father. Like, it was being reported on that he wrote this book based on her life from her young trainee days up until now. From there, Jennie's company ADOR also denied this, saying that there's a guy pretending to be her father and it's not true, don't believe it, but that they would be taking legal action, and they did. And it seems that Jennie won this lawsuit. So it seems that the court ordered that all copies of the publication be destroyed because it violated Jennie's privacy and spread false information, you know, the claim that he was her biological father. He's also barred from sharing similar content in the future, and he can't give any interviews to media about this subject. The interesting thing is that during this trial, it seems like he kept insisting that he was her biological father, despite the fact that Jennie's team actually provided a family tree, like evidence that he was not her biological father. So of course, Jennie has won this lawsuit. This man can no longer claim that he's her biological father. She's provided proof otherwise. Let me know your thoughts. Okay, so we all know by now that BLACKPINK is going on tour. We even know the tour dates. However, the details surrounding their comeback specifically, God only knows. Which is why when YG Japan's official Twitter account revealed deadline merch that would be available at a pop-up event, this is what it looks like. It basically just says deadline. Which, you know what? Fans were actually predicting that this is what the merch would look like. Especially since we don't know anything about the comeback whatsoever. So these designs have led to a lot of criticism from fans. This is insane. I've never seen worse management. What is the plastic bag for? Maybe we'll skip that one. The heck is this? Just the BLACKPINK logo in a plastic bag? Seriously embarrassing. So we just see these plastic bags here with the BLACKPINK logo. I mean, the keychains are really cute though. I thought they designated a team for BLACKPINK only, and this is the best they can give. Almost same design as before, but different tour name. Predictable and desperate. I actually hope no one buys this. When you think they can't disappoint you anymore, they prove you wrong. Now, of course, this doesn't mean that this will be the only tour merch available, especially since we have no details of the comeback. You know, this is just my theory. In my mind, it would make sense that they would only for now release merch that just says the tour name because they don't want to spoil anything. But of course, this isn't the first time that YG merch has received backlash. I don't know if you guys remember Jennie's merch for You and Me. You know, the art itself was gorgeous, but they just put like the square picture on a phone case and people were like, what? But we're getting closer and closer to July with absolutely no idea what this comeback is going to look like. So what are your thoughts on this merch? Let me know in the comments. Is NewJeans actually going back to ADOR? This is a question that a lot of netizens have given Danielle's recent appearance. Now, we all know by now, NewJeans members can't promote anything without ADOR's explicit permission. And should they go against this decision, which was made by the court and upheld by the court despite objections and appeals, they would have to pay a fine upwards of 700,000 USD per violation per member. But then we saw recently that Danielle appeared at a brand event, specifically an event for Omega, which she's a brand ambassador for. I mean, it's not like she quietly went to this event, right? I mean, she even spoke at the event. So it's led a lot of people to wonder, is she just going to pay the $700,000 fine to appear at this event? Or are the girls quote unquote crawling back to ADOR? Because there's also rumors that ADOR staff was with her at this event. Here's what some fans were saying. Oh, but I thought ADOR was evil and all, LMAO. Didn't NJZ say they wouldn't work with ADOR anymore because the trust was broken? Yet now Danielle wants to attend luxury brand events with ADOR. These girls are something else, lol. Was this event done with ADOR? Wasn't there like a huge fee if they did any activities? What is this? Such a waste, really. She looks like a different person. Was this allowed because it was contracted through ADOR? I'm curious. Must be nice to be NewJeans. People still adore them even when they cause chaos. They said they'd never go back to ADOR, but now she's pursuing her ambassadorship with the agency. It's funny though, I guess she didn't really have a choice, lol. So they claimed they couldn't work with ADOR anymore due to broken trust, but now she can smile through a luxury campaign? Isn't this just shooting herself in the foot? Oh, is she working with ADOR now? Is this NJZ slowly crawling back after the lawsuit didn't work out? LMAO, she really couldn't give up the luxury brand. Did she get ADOR's permission to attend that? This is weird. I don't really like this. However, it seems that some sources are saying that she was with ADOR at this event. Omega event was a schedule previously agreed upon with the luxury watch brand prior to the ongoing legal dispute. Danielle, who was selected as global ambassador for Omega last year, must continue to carry out her activities as an ambassador until her contract expires. Therefore, she will be fulfilling any remaining duties to Omega with assistance from ADOR for the time being. So according to sources, this event was planned well ahead. So for the time being, with ADOR's help, she'll be fulfilling those duties. So no, it doesn't seem that NewJeans will be going back to ADOR. And it also doesn't seem that she would have to pay the $700,000 fee, though it does seem that they're having to work together. But of course, let me know your thoughts. Do you think this could lead somewhere down the line to them coming back to ADOR? Do you think they're going to stay strong in this lawsuit and that they would never go back? Let me know your thoughts and predictions. Haknyeon, ex-member of the Boyz. We all remember that he was kicked out of the group for allegedly soliciting services from an ex-corn star. And the fallout from that was huge. I mean, we had netizens contacting the police asking for an investigation into this, with the specific complainant actually wanting the police to investigate this at a wider scale, citing industry-level issues of alleged structural solicitation and complicity, because it's also being alleged that it wasn't only Haknyeon but another former employee of 100 who was also involved and let go for a similar reason. People were critiquing his handwritten letter of apology because of the way he split up a specific word. So this word right here should in theory be all together. So people were saying that he must have received what to write through Kakao, and Kakao split up the word, so he just wrote it as it was written in the messages. So as we can see down here, if you wrote out the statement in a Kakao message, it would split up the words like this. This is just what people are alleging because they found that that was written in an awkward way. If you are in the right mindset, you should think it's strange even when you write it out yourself. He didn't even think to look over the content someone else wrote for him. If it were me, I would have written it, then rewritten it before uploading it. But then again, if it was copied from something written for him, so how sincere could that be? He either really doesn't have even a bit of sincerity or he isn't able to make that kind of judgment. We also had members of the Boyz writing out long statements to fans: Eric, Younghoon, Kyu, Juyeon, Kevin, and Hyunjae. And of course, there's huge discussions surrounding this. Did he really deserve to be kicked out of the group? But then Haknyeon actually came out and claimed that the company unilaterally terminated his contract, basically threatening him to pay a large amount of money that he didn't agree to, and then they just ended his contract. Here's his statement. So he starts off his statement by reiterating that he has not engaged in any illegal activities and that in response to malicious reports, he will be taking legal action. If there's any evidence that I engaged in, and I urge that it be made public immediately. Furthermore, I have never withdrawn from the group, nor have I ever consented to the termination of my exclusive contract. He then goes on to claim that there's no valid reason for him to be kicked out of the group. As outlined in my contract, my agency is attempting to fabricate such grounds. Some media outlets are also defaming me by bringing up and without any evidence. So then he makes mention of the 2 billion won that his company apparently wanted him to pay in compensation to leave the company, though he says that he never accepted these demands. Nevertheless, the agency informed the press that my contract termination had been finalized. This is a blatant falsehood. I must ask this: is it truly the role of an agency, which is supposed to protect its artists, to unilaterally expel me from the team simply because I happen to be at a private gathering with a well-known person and to pressure me into contract termination while threatening over 2 billion won in damages? When I refused to accept contract termination, the agency sent me a notice claiming that the contract had been terminated due to my wrongdoing, ignoring the proper procedures outlined in the contract, and even issued warnings regarding compensation claims. To be honest, I'm very frightened, but I realize that if I give in here, this society may become a place where people without power can be destroyed over things they did not do. Until now, I have remained silent, believing that the truth would come to light, but I can no longer stay silent in the face of attempts to ruin someone's life over false accusations. So he says that he intends to hold the company accountable as well as media outlets. No matter what happens, I'm determined to see this through to the end to uncover the truth. I'm speaking out in hopes that this fight can be a small source of hope for someone out there. However, 100 has responded to his statement, basically saying that they had the right to do what they did. We express deep regret over to Haknyeon's unilateral false claims. They start off by talking about how they suspended his activities after they recognized a matter that could seriously harm the group. But after reviewing the situation, quote, "We made him fully aware that the incident constituted grounds for contract termination under Article 6, Clause 3 of his exclusive contract, which refers to conduct that damages the dignity of an artist to the extent that it interferes with entertainment activities. We then made the decision accordingly. "We affirm that the termination of Janghyun's exclusive contract was carried out in accordance with the contract's terms and was a fair and justified action." They then go on to claim that he's avoiding responsibilities and is repeating distorted claims. Quote, "Should he persist in making such claims, we will pursue all necessary legal action to protect our company and artists from harm, including submitting relevant evidence and documentation to the appropriate legal authorities. Following this statement, we will not issue further responses regarding Janghyun's false assertions. We would also like to assure you that the Boyz activities will continue as scheduled without Janghyun, and we'll do our utmost to protect the honor and rights of the remaining members. Thank you." So in response to Haknyeon speaking out about the situation, I know there's some people definitely praising him, and this is just a general discussion. We've been faced with a lot of instances where an idol gets kicked out of the group. A lot of fans actually don't want them to be kicked out of the group, but the idol doesn't seem to really have any rights in the situation. So it's kind of like if an idol makes a mistake, they get kicked out of the group, they have no rights. But if an idol wants to leave the group because the company did something wrong, well, the company can do a lot of things to prevent that from happening. I think it's an interesting thing to consider because there are plenty of members from specific groups that fans would love if they could have come back, you know, if their dreams weren't destroyed. But ultimately, the company is the one with the upper hand. The company can just say you're out at whatever point that they please, years into the group, before debut, really whenever. But if the company does something wrong, it is so hard to get out of those contracts. But of course, let me know your thoughts. Did Twice copy BTS? Obviously not, but J-Hope appeared on Sana's Fridge interview where they discussed so many things, including similarities between the two groups, which on a side note, Sana... me acting like I'm the only person in the world feeling this, Sana just melts my heart. But basically, Sana mentioned that both their groups during debut had a bus scene in their music videos. So here's BTS and here's Twice. Fans are talking about this as well. Look how normal people react when there's something similar in their music videos. Normal people call this crumbs, but since 10 Twitter's full of plagiarism-obsessed people, this is how normal people react to other groups having similarities in their music videos. They don't cry over long hairs, hangbok, similar... Oh, I think I know where you're going with this, so on and so forth. It also seems that in 2019, the two groups took a photo together, but we've never seen the photo. Then J-Hope mentioned Haknyeon. He basically said that he met her at a public audition, which surprisingly led a lot of people to bring up this age-old question. Does Jimin of BTS have beef with Jungkook of Twice? Now, this is a fan theory that the two have beef for whatever reason. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I always see this video as like the source of why people think this. Just like Jimin looking at Jungkook like that.
Ricky, when I catch...
We were so close to getting the TOMG. Hobi spilled the beans. People asking, what's up with Jimin and Jungkook? Now the mystery and the plot getting deeper. Did Hobi knew Jungkook pre-debut? How? What is the connection? Is it related to the Jimin Jungkook mystery? Oh, it might actually run deeper than whatever we were expecting. I also came across this thread about all the coincidences between BTS and Twice, so I thought we could check it out. Okay, BTS achieved their first music show win on May 5th, 2015 with the song I Need You on the show. Exactly 1 year later on May 5th, 2016, Twice also earned their first win with a cheer up on M Countdown. That's interesting. BTS Namjoon and Yoongi and Twice's Jungin and Nayeon went to the same high school. A cute coincidence is that BTS and Twice have several songs with the same or similar names. Set Me Free Part 2, Promise, 24/7. I have it. Both have collaborations with Megan Thee Stallion. The debut music video with the bus. Taeyang and Sana have birthdays just 1 day apart. Nayeon's dog and Taeyang's dog were born on the same day. But anyways, I'll link this below. Just let me know if you can name any other coincidences between Twice and BTS. And let's move on. SOMI is having a comeback. It's been 84 years. No, but seriously, she is having a July comeback with a digital single called Extra. So it's actually been 11 months since Ice Cream. And you know, fans are already complaining. I mean, a lot of fans are happy. I mean, it's been a while. But a criticism that continues to be thrown towards her is that the Black Label is just not doing enough for her. Turns on me reading OP's comment, please leave the Black Label.
Please leave the Black Label. Guys, let's appreciate this, okay?
Huh. SOMI had the potential to be so big if the Black Label didn't mismanage her. People bringing up the fact that it's a single, SOMI and digital singles name a more iconic duo. Getting just a single is an injustice for SOMI. Looking forward to this, but she deserves more. I think what's even crazier is that she has so much recognition and brand deals, but the Black label seems to be having issues with resources or just straight up dungeoning her. She's recorded multiple songs before, but they end up not being released or pushed back. Even her sister shaded them on Instagram. Speaking of her sister, I came across this story from her sister. Basically, I can't believe my sister is finally able to have a comeback after over a year. I guess it's better late than never. I don't know when this was posted. It's just I came across it since it has technically been 11 months. It's been 84 years. Wait, that's my line. And we got a digital single. She's literally the biggest what if in K-pop history. Got super famous so early, huge potential, loved by the Korean general public and international fans alike. Yet her label has given her 10 songs in 7 years. So some people basically saying that it's a pre-release and maybe she'll get an album soon. I don't know. That's a hot bob. What are your thoughts on SOMI's comeback? You guys remember the group Baby Don't Cry, right? Produced by Son of Idol. Well, their concept is being called out as inappropriate. With this teaser for F Girl, we basically see the members go and buy a piece of candy that looks awfully similar to something else. And then the member opens the candy and eats the candy. So it's the fact that the candy looks awfully similar to something else. Something of a protective nature used during intercourse. YouTube gods, please, please let that slide. So the criticism started rolling in. 3 of 4 members are minors, by the way. 3 minors, rapper, song called F Girl. No, the is an intentional artistic message. Okay, why does a minor-filled group have to portray that message? These concepts only work with adults. What disgusts me the most is how her fans are still making feminist theories. Do you realize that there is nothing wrong with holding your fave accountable? Calling people perverted when the song name, teaser, and first MV were flat out weird and sickening. There are people defending the concept, basically saying that it's a good message, that everything girls do are sexualized, even the simple act of eating a piece of candy. So, of course, with all that said, let me know what you think. Do you think that these concepts should be reserved for adults? Do you think because it is something that affects whichever age group that it's okay? Let me know your thoughts. Okay, so I came across this tweet and maybe I think you'll like it. POV, you've just read the most devastatingly beautiful sentence in literature and can't talk about it because it was in a fanfic. So please drop your favorite fanfic lines. I want to know. K-pop fans did not disappoint with this. Chest says, Jisung burst into tears. But once is a coincidence. Twice, Seokjin thinks, is a girl group. Poetry, truly poetry. Yoongi starts grilling meat because he's a born provider and nurturer, but like in a hip hop way. By the way, guys, I tried to not put the super spicy ones in here, but they were kind of gold too. Seonghwa, what are we? Hongjung breathed out, his fingers slowly stroking the other's fluffy hair. Korean. We're Korean. Those are just a few, but man, in my day, there's quite a few lines I could have shared with you. But yeah, I reckon that's basically it for today's video. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this. I dropped my phone with friends you don't have. These are the lovely individuals who help support my channel on a monthly basis. It means the world to me. Thank you so much. And don't forget to go subscribe to my second channel. We've been playing Genshin, just hanging out, chit-chatting. I'm almost at AR 55. And I feel like we need to celebrate AR 55. Because who knows when I'll reach 60. I feel like that's going to take a while. Also grinding to save up for Mualani. And everyone's like, don't get Mualani. I want Mualani. What can I say? I'm also in love with Shenhe, who I just pulled. So I'm really glad that I pulled her. I was feeling a little guilty for wasting 70 wishes on her, but it wasn't a waste. Literally, who cares? Bye.